their home.
We demand justice.
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 We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
Justice.
We demand justice.
Implement the Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
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 We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
Return all the IDPs safely to their home.
We demand justice.
All IDPs return safely to their home.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
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 We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Ethiopian agreement.
We demand justice.
Restoring the status quo ante for the Tigray region.
We demand justice.
Restoring the status quo ante for the Tigray region.
We demand
We
justice.
demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
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 Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Western Tigray is under the control of the Amhara forces. All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party out of Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara parties occupying Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Northern Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party occupying Northern Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party occupying Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
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 Amhara force out of Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party out of Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party out of Northern Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Eritrean force out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Eritrean military out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Eritrean military out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Full implementation of Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Return all the IDPs safely to their home.
We demand justice.
Return all the IDPs safely to their home.
We demand justice.
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 We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand
The
justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party occupying Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Northern Tigray.
We demand justice.
Free Northern Tigray.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
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 Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand
All
justice.
invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Restoring status quo ante for the Tigray region.
We demand justice.
Restoring status quo ante for the Tigray region.
We demand justice.
We condemn the killing of civilian on Oromia region. We condemn the killing of civilian in Amhara region by the Ethiopian force. We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We condemn the killing of civilian by drones in the Amhara region of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We condemn the killing of in Oromia by the Ethiopian military force.
We demand justice.
We condemn the killing of civilian in the Oromian region.
We demand justice.
The killing of civilian in Amhara region.
We demand justice.
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 We condemn the killing of civilian by drone in Amhara region by the Ethiopian government.
We demand justice.
We condemn the killing of civilian in Oromia region by the Ethiopian military.
We demand justice.
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 We condemn the killing of civilian by drone in Amhara region by the Ethiopian government.
We demand justice.
Stop massacring people in Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
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 We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Implement the Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Implement the Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
Implement the Pretoria Agreement.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
The Amhara Prosperity Party is occupying Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party occupying Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
Amhara Prosperity Party occupying Western Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice.
All invaders out of Tigray.
We demand justice. justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice.
We demand justice in Tigray of Ethiopia.
We demand justice.
Pressure the Ethiopian government to implement the Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure the Ethiopian government to implement the Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure the Ethiopian government to implement the Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure Ethiopian government to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure Ethiopian government to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
The Ethiopian government, they not willing to implement the Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure the Ethiopian government to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Ethiopian government, they not willing to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure Ethiopian government to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure Ethiopian government to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Ethiopian government, they not willing to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Pressure Ethiopian government to implement Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Full implementation Pretoria agreement.
We demand justice.
Thank you, sir.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the children in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, implement the Pretoria agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for genocide victim in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the rape victim in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the IDP in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, implement the Pretoria agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, return all IDP in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, implement the Pretoria agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, implement the Pretoria agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
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 U.S. act now.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. President Donald Trump act now.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. President Donald Trump, there is systematic genocide in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. President Donald Trump administration, justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Donald Trump, Ethiopia government starving people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
There is systematic genocide in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
All IDP home.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Implement the Pretoria agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the Western Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the world people of the world in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Europe in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Humera in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Alameda in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Return home all people in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, more food for people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, more aid for people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, there is no aid in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, there is no medicine in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, it's the Ethiopian government destroying the whole hospital, no medicine in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Markovio, Eritrean government destroying all the food and not preparing the food in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Amhara region government out of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Eritrea force out of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
All free people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
People in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Accountability for Tigray genocide.
Justice for Tigray.
Accountability for people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Accountability for genocide in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
The U.S. government, justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
U.S. Congress, justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
U.S. Senator, justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
U.S. State Department, justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Mark Rubio, justice for genocide in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Mark Rubio, there is enough evidence to call it Tigray genocide.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Secretary Mark Rubio, there is enough evidence to Tigray genocide. Call it a genocide.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for genocide people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for genocide victim in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for
Justice for Tigray. Justice for Tigray.
Justice for people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. President, justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for children in Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Implement the Pretoria Agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
All invaders out of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Mr. Mark Rubio and push the Pretoria Agreement. Implement the Pretoria Agreement now.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Justice for the people of Tigray.
Justice for Tigray.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Thanks again for coming. It's a weekly protest here in Washington, D.C. at the State Department. We've been coming here to this ground since the first term of President Trump and his last city. The war breakdown at the end of President Trump's time. But nothing was taken to stop this war or to save lives in Tigray. Since then, we've been coming here to this ground, demanding justice and accountability for the crime committed against our people, the people of Tigray. I know Your Excellency, Secretary Mark Rubio, planning to travel to Ethiopia soon. Your Excellency, before you travel to Ethiopia, we want you to discuss and talk to all Ethiopian diasporas here in Washington, D.C. So you can have the entire scoop and information about what's going on in Ethiopia.
Where?
Ethiopian Prime Minister is committing crime all over the country, especially in Tigray, Amhara, and Oromia.
Can you call me back? Sorry, I'm
We have victims. Over a million innocent lives.
Please, thank you.
We have displaced people. We have people who flee to Sudan to save their lives. And we want to tell you all about our history, our misery, our suffering for the last 4 years and a half before you travel to Ethiopia. And when you talk to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, talk to him with the language that he knows, with sanction, with restriction, and with implementation. That's what we are demanding here today. So 2 years and a half ago, the United States government, the international community, the African Union and the European Union make the Ethiopian government and the Tigray government sign Pretoria Agreement, which is to stop the guns and the bullets. Since then, of course, the guns are silenced in Tigray, but the lives of Tigrayans is not changing. Still Tigrayans are displaced. Still Tigrayans are under systematic genocide. Still Tigrayans are not living in peaceful. So we are here to demand the implementation of Pretoria Agreement. Implement Pretoria Agreement!
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 U.S. pressure Ethiopia!
Implement Pretoria Agreement!
U.S. pressure Ethiopia!
Implement Pretoria Agreement!
U.S. pressure Ethiopia!
Implement Pretoria Agreement!
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 Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Ethiopia is in violation of Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Ethiopia is in violation of Pretoria Agreement.
Implement 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 Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. pressure Ethiopia.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. pressure Ethiopia.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. hold Ethiopia accountable.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. hold Ethiopia accountable.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 Return our IDPs home now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. help return our IDPs home.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. help return our IDPs home.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. help implementing Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. help implementing Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. help IDPs return home.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 We welcome the peace agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with humanitarian aid.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with humanitarian aid.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with peace.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with peace.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with justice.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with justice.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with accountability.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Pretoria Agreement with accountability.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 U.S. acknowledge Tigray genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. acknowledge Tigray genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. call it Tigray genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. call it Tigray genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. it is a genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. it is a genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 U.S. pressure Ethiopia now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. pressure Ethiopia now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 Accountability now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for Tigray now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Accountability now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for Tigray now.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 U.S. pressure Ethiopia.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. hold Ethiopia accountable.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. pressure Ethiopia.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. hold Ethiopia accountable.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Full implementation of Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Full implementation of Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Full justice for Tigray.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 U.S. pressure Ethiopia.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for Tigray genocide.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for genocide victims of Tigray.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for genocide victims of Tigray.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for Tigray.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 Secretary Rubio.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
President Trump.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Secretary Rubio.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Secretary Rubio.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
President Trump.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
President Trump.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. Senate.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. Senate.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
U.S. Congress.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Secretary Rubio.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
President Trump.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 We demand justice.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for Tigray.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
Justice for people of Tigray.
Implement Pretoria Agreement.
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 Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for coming. We do this every Wednesday, week in, week out. So make sure to come here every Wednesday, demanding justice and accountability for the Tigray genocide. And please spread the words. حزب جزائي لنا خنوات أنا أقرب مالتيو دمس حزب تجراي قوي لنا أبتي سبب خير هذا الناجزة علم جزاء بزارتنا جزء مسانا قوي دمس حزب تجراي بخنا أبتي سلام تكالي كذا علم زي بيوصل تفلي نسدرون أكون نقوله بيتسابو مثلا أنا عم نتمنى بذا أبو قرب على الكلام بيرامو أيضا مسكنا متكانسة.
سلام حقنا أما شفت نجار بعض في مجلس وايو برازيل يا كلهم سلامون زي فلت تجربة راجعش كونهم راح يكونوا سلامون تكالين فلاي لا ترفعنا هذا الجزء من السنة هذا أنا يدمر الجنسات يدمر بزعره دمسو خينونا بعلو راديو غيرو ببني معلتو بزعبا قداي ناي تقراي سخاي ناي تقراي يقاو حيني حدا كابتو مسعكالات نافل فلاي دما فليزي وروراتو عبتو زنورنا له بزي چنكي مزحتو سبع باندن غيرونا نحلو تقراي زي كونا درجة كله بيبنزل بهذا الملكة مالتي نسوجن تاو كوميونيتي تكاره تاو إثيوبيان يوم زبون تكاره ناتاتهم لقفيتها ناتاتهم صرفي ناتاتهم ريخيلو مسارات طويلة زنابرة سلزي هذه حادثة حونا كوانا خلينا نتلو حدا شام مجلس ينايتي نورنا ينايتي appreciate نجورو مخانو مجلسي بتي سرعة نايكورا قبري مركب تتخيلوا تذكيل ناقل كم تفوتوا بيتسوون وصل بيتسب راي نيرو كاب حرته كاب كوميونيتي تفلي نيرو مستقرات كوميونيتي ترايو كو نيرو سلازي غمزي حزي حدا قاعد ترتلو متحقق زون ياو ناتناون بزي قعدوهم زغبره سب كانون رفضه سب محجز راي حرته سلا ባህሊ ስለዚህ ንዑ ክንሕግዞ ሓደ በአትላንታ ዘለው ተጋሩ ምስ ኮሚኒቲ ኮይኖም ሓደ ናሽናል ኮሚቴ አቋቁሞም ሓደ 8-10 ሰብ ዘለዎ ببدو وقالو حرة سب تاسم قبر حنتيناي زل بزي تغيرا متخاب تجمري نحن بزي لما لا تاسك فورسن نايرالي جروبن كانت حدث تعساسرنا قاسنا تግራይ አካል ላይ ትግራይ ማለት ስለዚህ እንተፈይና በሐባር ኮይና ከም ታስክ ፎርስ ኣብዚ ወን ሰላማዊ ሰልፍ ከለንታና አንተና ይመጽ ይነሩ ሳራውን ይሳተፍ ይነሩ ድምጹን ይኸውን ይነሩ ሳና ስለዚህ ተሞዚ ዘለና በሐደ ዋሲና ምስቱ ናሽናል ኮሚቴ ተታሒዝና ግን ናይ በእንትና ማለት ናይ ካልኦ ዝገብርዎ ዘሎ ይንግበር ማለት አይን ሓግዝ ኣይኮነን ንሓባር ከይናና ultimately we now atomina msado together ናቱ ናይ አትላንታ ኮሚኒቲ ናቱ ተዋይም ዘሎ ኮሚቲ ስራሕዩ ናብ አቶሚና ክሰዶ ግን ዝባዕልወና ሓድነትና መግለጽ ይፈነና አላይ ድማ ከም ግለሰባት ጥራይ ከም ተጋሩ ጥራይ እንተይኮነስ ከም ሕብረት ከም ሓደ ሕውር ዝኾነ ራሊ ግሩፕ ድማ ፍሉይ ዝኾነ ይቀነልና ዝንብለሉ ሜካኒዝም ስለዝኾነ ኣብዚኣ ዘለና ተተኻይሉ ሎሚ ተዘይተኻይሉ ባይ ዲስ ኢቭኒንግ ዘየለሎ ዘቐመጥናዮ ዘየለሎ ናይ ታስክ ፎርስ ትሬጀረር ዝኾነት ኣላ ሓፍትና መብራት ገብሩ ናብ ኣንተ ትሰዱላ ጽቡቕ ተዘየሎ ኣብ ሕዚ ኣብዚ እናሃለና እውን ዘዝኸኣልናዮ ንሕግዝ እሞ ብስምና ክንገብር ኦን ቶፕ ኦፍ ዲስ በዙ ራሊ ግሩፕ ስም ጌርና ድማ ኣበባ እውን ንሰድድ ኣለና ኢና ንሱ ኦልሬዲ ኣሬንጅ ጌርና ኣበባ ክሰድድና ብዙ ታስክ ፎርስ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ እዚ ታስክ ፎርስ ዓብይ ትርጉም ዘለዎ እዩ ብዙሕ ድማ ተፈላጣ እዩ ስለዚ ንሕና ንህቦ መልእኽቲ ዓብይ መልእኽቲ ስለዝኾነ ናይ ንእርትናዊ መግለፂ ዝኸውን እቱ ዝተወሰነ እታወት መሃብ እዩ ብዙሕ ሪሶርስስ ኣይነበሮን አንፎርቹኔትሊ ሬዲዮ ስቴሽን በባዕሉ ገንዘብ ይዘካይዶ ነይሩ እንሰብ ዝሰርሐን ዝነበራ ነቲ ሬዲዮ ስቴሽንን ደቁ ናራሽ ደቁ ኣለዎ ንኣቶም ነይሩ ስለዚ ብዙሕ ሪሶርስ የብሉ ሓገዝናዮ ንሓና እውን ጽቡቕ ያው ከም ተጋሩ ምትሕግጋዝ ልሙድና እውን ስለዝኾነ ሓገዝናዮ ጽቡቕ እዩ የቐኒልኒ እሞዛ ቁፅሪ ኣብዚኣ እናሃለኹም ክበኩም
እሺ ታንክ ዩ ኣይተመስፍን ሓደ ብክልተ መንገዲ ክንከዲና ማለት እዩ ታዋና ዓላማ እንታይ እዩ ካብዚ እክበቢልና ብሙሉእና ካብ ሓምሳ ሎሚ ምስል ሓደ ሰብ ብሻክሞ ሓደ ገይፁን 50 ሰብ እንድዩ እክበቢልና ኩልና ማለት እዩ ኣብ ሓንቲ ቦኸራ ጌርና ክንዲ ዝሸሕ ካብ ዲኤምቢ ደለው ራሊ ግሩፕ እና እንደገና ሽምና እንደገና ወጥጻፊ ማለት እዩ ካብ 50 ሚሊዮን ሰድድ እክቢላ ክትከቢዋና ዓላማው ማለት እዩ ስለዚህ ብክልተ መልክዕ ንገብርና ሓደ ሕዚ ክንህቢና ትብሉ ካሰች ስለደላ ንካሰች ትውዋ ካሰች እክቢላ አይ ንመብራት ዜል ክንገብረላ ምሕምኩም ስልኩም ወጽኡ ኩልኩም ሞይ 757 839 0123 757 839 0123 they should have the best quotes cap zeros plus 0123 757 area code 839 0123 መብራት ከውሩያ ላው አትሰድዎ ሞይ ለሐርቀው ካባ አኪብራ ነحنا ቀጥታና ተናይ አትላንታ ተከፊቱ ደሎ ናይ ዲኤምቢ ራሊ ግሩፕ ጋስ ፐርሰኒልና ሁላ ተሰድኒና ሞ ምዕርግ ይብልዩ ማለት እዩ አንደኛ ከምት ሐዋያት መስል ደሎ ማለት እዩ ዝሐውና ኣብዚ 4 ዓመት ፈርዓን ከሐምስተ ጊዜ ላዕልን ዋሽንግተን ጸውዕናዮ ካብ አትላንታ በሪሩ መጽኡ ሳና ሰልፍ ቆወል ሳና ህዝብ ድምጽ ቤተሰቡን ትንትኑን ማህበረሰብ ትግራይ ከመይ ቃል ኪዳና ከመኸበር ከመይ ሰብ ከመኸበር ምድገልጽ እዩ ሞይ ሓደራ ኣቅሊልና ከይንሪኦ ክብል ፎቶ ኣነ ያኣመና حزنا يا دينا كلنا تقصري everyone have the number 757-839-0123 ስለዚህ ሕዚ ክትውት ደልዩ ንካሰች ሓዋዕኹም ካሰች ንሃብዚ ሕዚ ለለዎ ሰብካሽ ስምኩምና ጽሓፈት ካሰች ክትቀበል ዞሶት ይወንቱ ዘልክን ለማዓምት ጽራሕ ንግበሩ ዋሕኹም ሓደራ ኣደም ፋሎዋ ክትከበር የስ ወልተን ጊሶ ማቸው Right, thank you so much. Murat, how program number Bitcoin National Anthem Modelna, Martha Anshan, his at the end of the program. Make sure to enjoy the snack programs. Thank you so much, everyone. Special thanks to the Homeland Security, to the MPD, and also to the State Department Special Forces for protecting us, for always being on our side. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much, MPD, Homeland Security, and